DIY Sweets. Today I'm going to show you how to make dessert crepes. We're ready to make the cream cheese filling for our strawberry and cream cheese crepes. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to whip up the whipping cream. I'm just going to use the whisk attachment here. And I want to do it on fairly low speed to begin with. And this is about the lowest speed that my beater goes on. You will notice there's a little bit of splash out, but as it starts thickening up, there will be less splash out. Now that it's thickening up, I'm able to move it around more in the bowl. And I want to get this so that it's like it would be if I were going to use it as whipped topping. So I want it to form nice peaks. I do not want to turn it into butter though. So you'll notice that's still very runny. So we just keep going. And I can even turn the speed up a little bit now that it's thickened up and it's not splashing around. Now you'll notice we're starting to get peaks. I'm going to do probably another 10 seconds and we'll be done. That is just how we want it. I'm going to change my attachment to the beater attachment. In this bowl, I want to put my cream cheese. And I am just going to mix that for a minute. I want to cream my cream cheese. The next thing I want to do is I want to add my powdered sugar. Now powdered sugar should always be sifted because you want it to be as fine as possible. So I'm just going to sift it in on top of my cream cheese. A lot of times when I sift my ingredients, I'll use a spoon because it'll speed it up. But this isn't very much today, so I'm just going to do the hitting the side method or the shaking. That also gets it out. It usually just takes a little bit longer. At this point you'll see there's some big chunks, so this is one reason I like to do the spoon usually, because that spoon will break up those chunks that are in there. And there we have it. Now this is a powdered sugar, so it splashes a lot, and since I don't have a real low speed, I want to just slowly pulse this on and off till I can get the powdered sugar mixed in. And I just want to take a little bit at a time, mixing it in. Look how creamy that is. Once it's creamy like that, all we're going to do is take this whipped cream and fold it in to the cream cheese mixture. Now remember, folding is not a vigorous stir. It's going from the top to the bottom, bottom to the top, mixing it all in. Because we want this cream cheese mixture to be nice, light, and airy. And we don't want to deflate the air that's already in the whipped topping. That's why we are folding it in until we can get it all to be the same consistency. And now you see as I go like this, it all looks pretty much mixed in. Sample a little bit from the top. Yeah, that's still a little bit whipped creamy-ish. So I'm gonna fold it a little bit more, because remember my cream cheese part was on the bottom. So I just want to keep folding it in until it's all mixed in. And that's really all there is to making the cream cheese filling for our strawberry crepes. We're going to go ahead and put this in the fridge and let it get cold until we're ready to assemble our crepes. Because remember, the crepes, you want to assemble it right as you're ready to eat it. You can make all the parts ahead of time, including the crepes, but you don't want to assemble it till you're ready to actually eat it. So I will cover this up and put it in the fridge, and we'll meet back when we're ready to make the crepes. We're ready to do the crepes now. First we want to mix the eggs and the flour. I'm going to break up the eggs before I add the flour to it. I have sifted this flour before putting it in. That's just a really good practice to always sift your dry ingredients unless the recipe says otherwise. Now I'm just going to whisk this until they are mixed in well. Now we're going to gradually add the milk and water. I combine them into the same cup. And as we whisk this, we're going to slowly get this lumpy batter to become smooth. That's one reason we're adding it in gradually, so that we can get the batter to be smooth and not lumpy. We don't want any lumps in our crepes. That's why we're using a whisk. That helps get the lumps out. Notice we're now getting a nice, smooth, thin batter. The last thing we want to add to this is our butter and salt. And I've already added the salt to the butter after I melted it. And then we're just going to whisk that together. Now that looks really smooth and it looks like it's ready. The one thing it's really good to do with crepes though is to strain it. We want to make sure there's absolutely no lumps in our batter, so we want to strain this batter. I have my strainer in the bowl and I'm just going to pour my batter into that strainer and let it strain through. I didn't pour it all in because I don't know if the bowl down here will hold it all. Notice there is some lumps there, so it was a good thing we did that. I'm going to strain some more through. This way we know that all of the crepes that we're going to cook are going to be without lumps. I have my frying pan here and I'm going to heat this to a medium-high heat. I'm going to take this paper towel, put just a little bit of butter on it, and I'm going to just rub it on the bottom here. That is all the more oil that it needs. I then want about 1/4 cup of my crepe batter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this crepe batter into the pan. And then I'm going to swirl the pan to make it fill the bottom. So I just dump that in the center. And then I just swirl this around to get it to fill the bottom. It's not going to be perfectly round. You're going to get it most of the way round, but it won't be perfectly round. We're just going to let this cook now for about 1 to 2 minutes. Now this is a crepe turner. This is the spatula that you use. If you don't have one like this, you can use a pancake turner to get down underneath. Unlike what you've seen in the movies though, you are not going to flip this by flipping the pan. You'll notice it's starting to curl up on the edges. That's how we know it's ready. What we're going to do is we just want to get under it and flip it over. And then we want to cook it on this side for another 1 to 2 minutes. Now this did not brown as much as you usually want it to brown. That tells me my pan probably was not hot enough because it did cook the length of time that it was supposed to cook. So let me just flip this back over. You see on that side, it did brown like it was supposed to. It's not supposed to be a solid brown. It's just supposed to have kind of that cobwebby and spotted brown. let's go ahead and take this one out and put it on a plate. And then we're going to take our paper towel again and just quickly butter and put another 1/4 cup in. And then you would just keep doing this until you have your crepes. Not going to be perfectly round, but they're still going to taste well. Now the second one, while it's not as round as the other one, you notice it browned perfectly. That's what we're looking for, is that spider web look. We're going to let that cook on the second side and we'll continue cooking. We're ready to make the chocolate sauce now. All we do to make the chocolate sauce is we combine the butter and the chocolate and then a splash of the heavy cream. And we just melt this on kind of a medium-low temperature. I haven't added the cream yet because I want to see just how thick this is once the butter and the chocolate are melted together. And then after that I will add just a little bit of cream to it. You can see this is really, really thick. So I'm going to add just a little bit of cream. Start with that amount. And I can add more if I need to. But let's see how that amount of cream and this butter and chocolate, how it does. You can see it's pretty much melting down. A little bit of cream here I need to stir in. And as you can see, looking at this, it's still really, really thick, even though it's melted. So I am going to add just a little bit more cream and mix it in. We do want this to pretty much be pourable because we're going to pour it on top of our crepes. So now you'll notice when I spoon this up like that, it's pretty runny. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more cream. So I really want it to be smooth, cream. Just mix that in. And then I'm going to keep this on a low heat just to keep it warm because I don't want it to harden up on me while we assemble our crepes. So meet me back over at the counter and we're ready to put our crepes together. We're ready now to assemble the strawberry cream cheese filling crepes. I have my board here for building the crepe on. I'm going to stick the crepe on the board, and then I kind of like to put my cream to the side there because I'm going to roll it. And then on top of the cream, I'm going to put some strawberries. Then I'm just going to take this and gently roll it. And then bring my plate over and stick it on the plate. Let me build my next one. Again, I put the cream in there. Put some strawberries. And then roll it. Alright, once I have it rolled up, I'm going to move it over to the plate. I've got my chocolate sauce, and I'm just going to spoon and drizzle that onto there. Next I want to put the whipped cream on. And I've just bought some canned whipped cream. And then the last thing with this strawberry. You notice how I've cut it to be decorative. Let me show you how I did that. All I did is I cut the green off, and then I cut not all the way through, most of the way through once, twice, and you could do it another time, but that looks like enough. And then I just spread them apart and stuck them up on there. And here is our strawberry cream cheese filling crepes. Delicious chocolate and cream cheese. Make some up tonight. This is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Enjoy and happy baking.